Representative Anna Eskamani.
Thank you so much, Representative Hardy, and thank you to the incredible speakers and your personal testimonies. This is why we stand in solidarity with you. You are our inspiration, because it is not okay that a major industry gets to dictate policy at a local level and at a state level and even at a federal level just because they have the money to do that, just because they have the money to influence politicians, to influence even different sectors of the media, to be so embedded when it comes to their political and community influence that even the idea of changing a practice so that children and generations to come can have clean air when they walk outside and go to school, because they stand against that. Not only have they denied us the opportunity to pursue green harvesting, but they are pushing forward a bill, a priority bill, mind you, that would potentially undercut pending litigation filed by local members of the community trying to end the practice of sugarcane burning. And I want to be clear, no one's trying to end the industry. People are just trying to end this practice that has damaged far too many lives and far too many communities. For those who are just tuning in on Facebook Live, again, my name is Anna Eskamani, and I'm proud to serve District 47, the state legislature. You might be wondering, why does an Orlando representative care about what's happening in South Florida? Well, this is a statewide issue, and I stand against corporate influence in politics. And when I first ran for office, one of the first industries that I knew had a way too much influence in politics was sugar. And I made a commitment that I will not take any money from sugar, and I will not take any money from fossil fuel companies. That list has since grown to not taking money from a lot of different industries. But even before I was elected, I knew that there was something wrong with the overarching influence of sugar and everything that we do, where lawmakers in other parts of the state who don't even represent the Everglades take money from sugar and continue to consent to many of sugar's political agendas. And so with that said, House Bill 1601 is a dangerous piece of legislation, also known as Senate Bill 88, because as we've already heard from some of our other speakers, it completely would negate efforts to seek some sort of judicial process when faced with a nuisance that is outside of a farm. And the way they have defined this nuisance is in such narrow terms that particles from sugarcane burning, which by the way can float upwards of 20 and 25 miles, you would not be able to seek any type of litigation or any type of recourse if this bill were to become law. Other parts of this bill that are super problematic are around not only taking away access to the courts for so many working class people, but also the fact that it leans on current regulations as the protection. Now, you've already heard our on the ground advocates call out statewide agencies and statewide officials because of concerns of what their agencies are doing and not doing when it comes to addressing the issue of sugarcane burning. The reality is that the influence of industries like sugar goes far beyond the legislature, and it also goes into these executive branches. It goes into the regulation process, into the planning of when to burn and when not to burn. There's a reason why some of the richer communities in South Florida don't experience this compared to those that are in the state that are on the west side. And that's not by coincidence. That's an intentional policy decision to redirect black ash towards communities that are deemed not to have efficacy, or communities that are easier to influence compared to those that have means and have more political, at this point, political capital, which is one reason why we're coming here together today, is to change that, because we want to build political capital among the leaders in Muck City, among the leaders that you just heard from today. And we want you to all know that you are not alone, and you have advocates in Tallahassee that are fighting right alongside you and are committed to doing this work with you. And so part of what this bill is also attempting to do is to actually reflect the recent filed dismissal by the defendants in this lawsuit, saying that if we're following all the state regulations, then you can't sue us. But again, the issue at hand is, even with state regulations, too many families are suffering from black snow. Too many families have exposure to toxic particles that have been linked to many health problems, from respiratory disease to cancer, with young children and seniors especially vulnerable, especially during a pandemic. I voted against this bill and I had it before me in civil justice. Rep. Hardy has voted against it as well and has made attempts to even amend the bill and to speak against the bill. And we're doing that because we care about the safety of our state, of its people, and of our farm workers, many who are people of color and who already live in some pretty harsh conditions. Now, the last thing I'll add is sugar companies could choose to switch to green harvesting, which for those who don't know, it uses mechanical harvesters to separate sugarcane leaves and tops from the sugar-bearing stalks, which eliminates the need to burn and is a viable biomass option when it comes to creating energy from. But again, they are far less likely to make that switch to green harvesting if the legislature gives them immunity from lawsuits, immunity from all public health problems caused by the current burning. And so we're pushing back against this bill. We're calling it out loud and proud. And I just want to say thank you again to all the advocates who are here and to Representative Amari Hardy for bringing us together today.